From Indonesia to Pakistan, antiquated blasphemy laws are causing the imprisonment and even death of Christians and others. Recently, the Christian governor of Jakarta, nicknamed Ahok, was jailed for 2 years because he told Muslim voters they could vote for him despite his political opponents insisting the Quran said otherwise. And in Pakistan, Christian mother Asia Bibi, originally sentenced to death for defending her Christian faith, still languishes in prison on blasphemy charges. Well, joining me now is Dr. Paul Marshall. He's Wilson Professor of Religious Freedom at Baylor University. So, Paul, does Ahok's imprisonment mean that Indonesia is moving away from secularism and democracy?
It depends on two things. One is, in this trial and the accusations against Ahok, there was a lot of political manipulation. If you get something like this on a national scale, things could really erupt. This has woken up a lot of Indonesians, Muslims as well as Christians, because Indonesia has a reputation for religious toleration, mostly deserved, and I think people were becoming complacent. But you've had radical elements growing, especially amongst the young, amongst university students, and suddenly this has now erupted forth. You had demonstrations of over 1 million people. So Indonesians who thought they were immune from the type of radical Islam you get in the Middle East have suddenly woken up and said, we've got that here. We just put a governor in prison for blasphemy. We've had mass demonstrations. So there's now, so to speak, a counterattack. The government is pushing a lot of initiatives, stressing the need for religious harmony and toleration. They've been banning some of the more radical Muslim groups. So I'm hoping this sort of counter-surge, this will be a wake-up call, and Indonesians will fight against the radicalism which is growing.
What can the United States do?
We should respond gently. The Indonesians, like almost everybody else in the world, can get, don't like other people telling them what to do. I think to raise concerns about this, to say this is greatly worrying, to push Indonesia to repeal its blasphemy laws. Christians should, particularly listen to the concerns of Christians in Indonesia. Most are doing okay, but there's regions in the province of Aceh and West Java and other places which are highly restrictive. And we should raise these concerns too with Indonesian officials.
Now on to Pakistan. Asia Bibi, she's been in prison for 8 years now. The U.S. gives about $1 billion a year to Pakistan. Do we have any leverage against them? What can we do?
We have some leverage. We often don't want to use it because we've got thousands of troops in Afghanistan next door, and most of their supply lines go through Pakistan. We have more leverage than we think we do. I would push for, I want repeal of the blasphemy laws, but I think that's not going to happen quickly. As you all know, major figures in Pakistan who've pushed to get rid of the blasphemy laws have themselves been killed, including Shahbaz Bhatti, a very committed Catholic and the Minister for Minorities in the national government. Nobody has been executed for blasphemy in Pakistan. But people get killed in prison. They get killed by the police. They get torn to pieces by mobs, or the jailers put them in a jail in a cell with other convicts who kill them. So I think reforming police and jails and how those people accused are treated and the rules of evidence, I would want to concentrate on these. Under a lot of its laws, the word of a Muslim counts for more than a non-Muslim. The word of a man counts for more than the word of a woman. So if there were a Muslim and a Christian together in a room and they came out and the Muslim accused the Christian of blasphemy, his word would carry. So I think we need to look at those rules of evidence, and then the false charges which arise, people use them as vendettas against others. Then if the charge is false, they themselves should be charged with an equivalent of perjury or leading to false arrest. And that could limit the number of accusations which are being made.
Okay, Dr. Paul Marshall, thanks so much for joining us today.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Gary.